No problem.
Jumping into community outreach and special events for the time being. So again, my name is Chris Runyon, and have you guys used the Better Business Bureau before? Feel free to unmute yourself, and if you would like to say something, or if you have, of course you don't have to. But we love some engagement and interaction as we kind of go through this presentation today. Well, if you haven't, bbb.org is a great resource. We serve geographically 32 counties in our area here in Western Virginia. We're based in Roanoke, but of course we want to hit all the pockets and corners in our service area. And we'd love to keep people informed, find those trustworthy businesses and local businesses, giving them tips as they make those business transactions and purchases, and of course, prevent those scams when possible. Other things we're able to do here, of course, are educational programs, just like you are on today, getting out in the community and making sure that we make a big impact here locally. So you can also review charities as well. And as we open our hearts and our pockets, it's always important this time of year to double check those charities as well. But if you were to visit bbb.org, this is what you would find. It's essentially an online directory, but not just that. You would put in any type of business name and see if we have it in our system. It's a pretty vast database. As we continuously grow, who is listed, and new businesses pop up every day. So we love to expand. So if you don't find a business there, make sure to submit one, and we'd be happy to add one. Of course, you can file complaints. Those dispute resolutions are a great service for consumers, and we act as a third-party, non-partial mediator between, and that's our role overall as the Better Business Bureau, to help find a solution for consumers and for business owners. Of course, you can also leave a review. That's a customer review. These are vetted, which is really nice because you get to trust what people are saying, that they had a transactional relationship. It's not just someone having a bad experience, or they heard of a bad experience and posting for someone on their behalf. It's actually the person that's been vetted by our team and operations here, and which really helps the transparency and authenticity of those customer reviews to be a decision maker when picking a business and service. Of course, we also have news and tips, like we mentioned before. It's that time of year again, so you'll see a lot of shop small tips. Supporting your local community, maybe beware of those puppy scams as you see down there as well, and tips on shopping if you are for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. It's now a whole month, so we're going to get into that holiday season. We've got tips there as well that are very seasonal and timely. Of course, you want to might see a accredited business seal. And just to give you some background, of course, we love our accredited business here that buy into our mission and align with our overall standards for trust to advertise honestly and held at a higher standard of integrity and ethical business practices. And of course, we have also our A+ through F letter rating, and that allows you to understand how responsive they are in solving those issues and complaints. And again, that's just another transparency tool to judge these businesses and their customer service, and making sure that they don't have a pattern of complaints, unlicensed as well. You would see an F rating for those types of businesses that don't comply. BBB also offers Bbb Scam Tracker. This is a heat map, if you will, of scams going around your area, specifically to the greater, Western Virginia area. Of course, it's great to dial in and really see what the pulse is on the community and what's happening right next door. It's essentially crowdsourcing for your neighbors to warn others and to also give us data back and how we can prevent these scams moving forward through our communities. Of course, you would enter your keyword search or maybe your type of scam or location on the side navigation bar for searching for scams, and it would pop up there. So visit bbb.org/scam tracker to find those scams in your area or report one. We always love those who report because it's underreported in our area always, and we'd love to get as many reports as possible because it helps educate those in our community even more. So what scams have you guys encountered recently? And feel free to chime in here. I know I've been witnessing a lot of social media scams, ad scams that are fake products being sold for too good to be true prices. It seems like they seem to target me and a lot of outdoor gear. And so I've had to really watch out for those fake ads. Anybody else? Well, I know we'll be seeing more and more. Let's see. Oh, okay. Run into social media scams and phone calls, endless phone calls. Okay. Wow. You know, I know that FCC is really cracking down and the FTC as well. So hopefully we'll see a decrease in those scam robocalls. They have been slipping in our riskiest scam, and we'll get into that as well. Fake giveaways and restaurant gift cards. Certificates, absolutely. I've seen these as well. Usually Starbucks or fast food. I believe Chick-fil-A was one of them that I was able to see online. And yeah, those are great examples. Hopefully everyone stayed safe as well. So in our 2020 Bbb risk report, it essentially highlighted that there is a growing problem that we're all facing during COVID-19 and the pandemic in general, and that is everyone is going online a little bit more. Seems like 43% are spending more time online during the pandemic, and 57% are actually making more purchases because of that. You know, we wanted to quarantine and of course be safe. And so we saw a rise in those online scams. And unfortunately, how do we combat those? We have to, of course, educate. Some of the riskiest scams we saw were online purchase scams for 18 to 54-year-olds. It's incredible. And I think it was the second riskiest scam for 55 plus. And so that's pretty wild. That's how big online purchase scams are. So keep in mind as we go into the holiday season, kind of those stats and to second guess what you might see online. Some of them, again, this is just another chart. We saw online purchase scams go to the top with that arrow to number one, employment scams and job scams sliding down to number two, a little bit different than what we've seen in the previous years. Bbb is a little bit different than other scam reports because we actually use 3 different data points to see what is a risky scam. And that's your exposure, overall frequency, about how many times you see the scam, acceptability rate, did you fall for it, did you not, what's the percentage, and overall median dollar loss. You know, how risky is this dollar loss? It's pretty neat, the equation and formula that they put together to judge how risky these scams are in our area. Again, this is just based down in age demographic, again, showing you that online purchase scams are number one through 18 to 54-year-olds and second for 55 plus. It's interesting to see some of the employment. Obviously, as we get closer to the retirement, you see these not being as much of a big deal, which makes sense. As we're younger, fake check and money order makes sense because we're newly financially independent and getting that freedom. And so some of these make sense in this and where we are in our lifetime. Moving forward, of course, with online purchases increasing, scams scammers were reaching us through social media and websites a lot more, and they were way more successful than ever. So let's kind of dive into that. Let's see here. 1 in 2 lost money. I mean, 50% lost money. It's incredible. Actually, even more so, if we look down at the means of contact for these riskiest scams, again, websites and social media being at the forefront there, over a third were getting duped by websites. Social media being almost a fifth of overall scams reported, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram being some of those examples. Of course, phones are the most common, but they're not as risky. People are hanging up or letting them go to voicemail. So they have slowly been able to cut that portion out. But as we kind of turn digitally, as we make those online purchases, especially during the holidays, we want to make sure we're watching out where we're clicking in our email, viewing our social media, and then buying on sites. And of course, the means of payment, they're trying to get credit card information, and they do that successfully. The great thing about that is that there's a second tier of fraud protection that we actually love to see people using credit cards more so than bank accounts. So we hope over and over again that fraud protection that you get with credit cards that is omitted with average bank accounts and savings accounts. We want to see actually this number grow, because we get to dispute those charges with those financial institutions that and credit lenders a lot easier. And so we love to see credit cards actually growing by means of payment, because we know that consumers have a better chance of returning their lost funds. Online payments, this is your PayPal, your Venmo. These are getting a little stricter, and we like to see those rules and regulations protect those consumers. And as we kind of grow more and more digitally, it's important to understand which ones have protections and which ones don't. So what are some of the top reasons for engaging? Normally it seems official. The website looks legitimate. The pictures are professional. Scammers might be using times as a tactic, pressure to make a decision irrationally and quickly without consulting with maybe family members. They seemed pleasant. They weren't rude or nasty, but actually really seemed to be of service to us. Hey, I'm trying to help you here. It's all in a way to, of course, get important information, personal identification information, or of course that credit card number. We don't want to miss out. I have FOMO. If I see a great deal, I don't want to miss out and be the only one on the street that might have missed out on a great deal. Or they might have already knew my personal information, and this was a step even further before. This is just a part of the funnel of getting you down to that. More information might be financial now, but they knew where you lived. They might know your full name, where you work, because they found this information throughout online. So we want to be careful, of course, what we allow to be viewed online and who can view it. So let's jump into the 12 scams of Christmas. Not to be a Scrooge or Grinch, but we want to make sure that we are definitely protecting ourselves. And these are the most common scams we see here at the Better Business Bureau throughout the holiday season. And it seems to be starting earlier and earlier every year. I feel like October 1st will be the new Black Friday, apparently. So it just seems, I don't know about you guys, but it just keeps getting earlier. E-cards, these are electronic gift cards. We want to be careful in general with gift cards, whether you're purchasing in person that they haven't been used or tampered with, but especially electric gift cards. These take place of physical, gift cards, and it seems to be a really growing problem during COVID-19. A lot of people doing their online shopping and purchasing these gift cards. They usually are a way to get personal information, or of course that financial information, your credit card information. So it's important that we we make sure that we look at the email that is being sent that might be unsolicited in some of these e-gift card promotions and offers, to wear our investigative hat and ask a couple questions. We'll kind of go over how to spot some of those phishing email scams, but normally email is one of the biggest ways they get into your pocket and into your inbox. Stranded relatives, also known as, I think, the grandparent scam. This is when someone sounding young normally, and if you're a grandparent out there, it might be a grandchild that is calling you and they need funds because they've ran into trouble, using isolation as a tool to not tell any other family members, but to please help wire some money. This is, of course, an ongoing issue, not as popular as it used to be. I love to always tell people to have a verification question, or to verify their identity when you think that something might be a little bit of a red flag. Again, ask maybe what my nickname is. My grandmother went by Muzz, and I would never call her grandma, so that would be a huge red flag if someone were to call. Again, phone call is the normal way of means of contact for stranded relatives. So beware as we kind of go, and make sure that we reach out to our neighbors as well if they hear anything like this, to, of course, knowledge is power, and to spread that kind of knowledge is great. Fake shipping notifications. We're all making online purchases right now. Amazon Day, Black Friday coming up, Shop Small Saturday. As we continue to purchase things not as much in person and do a more online shopping, we want to be careful what kind of emails we're getting through these big department stores like Target, Best Buy, even UPS, USPS, FedEx. You might be getting a verification code saying, please verify your address and information. Please, if you want to expedite with shipping, with the current delays going on right now, we might see that as a great tactic to get people to click through and get that information. So making sure that we see those shipping notifications, double checking your packages, tracking your packages, and not falling carelessly into one of the unexpected consumers that fall for these type of scams. Temporary jobs are a great way for income during the holiday season. Target hires on additional help to stock the shelves. That's not the issue here. What we're hoping is to make sure that the job is legitimate. Sometimes it's a reshipping of goods that we see is a big red flag. It's a little bit too easy and too good to be true to have packages come in and all you have to do is actually ship them right back out. That's a very common temp job here. We've seen similar items as car wraps and letter, sealers as well. So be careful when looking for additional income just during the holidays, or even family and friends, to make sure they go through the proper outlets of getting hired online. And younger people seem to be falling for these type of scams more and more, just because they don't have as much, essentially, experience in the job market. Social media gift exchange. I want to ask if anyone has seen Secret Sister or a wine train or a gift exchange online. It happens every year during Secret Santa through social media. And I'm eyeing the chat here, so maybe not, but it's essentially a way. It does sound fun, absolutely. But what I always suggest is that we instead of going online and figuring out and diving into a group online that signs up for personal information, buying goods for others that you don't know, it could technically be a pyramid scheme. And we want to make sure that we know the people who are involved. I say to take this offline. I love a good Secret Santa. Just don't do it through social media. The group kind of grows in this gift exchange, your connections and separations to the next person and how you know them become wider and wider, and you just don't know who you're actually dealing with. And hopefully maybe that though that you might have bought a gift, they might have not returned that favor. So it's really important to be careful when going online and seeing these gift exchanges. Always comment on a friend who might see these and saying, hey, actually, this is not only illegal, but be very careful. There's a lot of friends that you don't know a part of this gift exchange. And that sounds such like a Grinch thing to do, but just take it offline. Free gift cards. Wow, I love a free gift card, but it just never has happened for me unless I get a rebate, but that's just something completely different. Be aware of phishing emails that are coming through, or even text messages nowadays, offering a $50 gift card to Amazon or maybe another department store by either giving your feedback or fill out this form, let us know about your experience. Be very wary. Please look online if any other situations have happened, as well as for gift cards. Starbucks is a very common one that I've seen come in again as well. Santa scammers. Now, I should probably retitle this as Letters to Santa. There are legitimate companies out there that do this, and I love the spirit of Christmas. I truly do, but we need to be careful about certain companies that take advantage of these type of holiday services for parents, and it essentially allows you to write and send letters to and from Santa. And so we need to be careful when going online, checking with the Better Business Bureau maybe, and see if that is a legitimate company. Feel free to always give us a call. We have our investigator on staff 24/7 here, or 5 days a week at least, and be happy to dive in on a company that might be possibly throwing a couple red flags up. Bogus websites. A lot of people are trying to mirror legitimate sites, again, to get that personal information and financial credit card information as well. So we just want to make sure we take a moment to look and see if they have any contact information, return policies, and we'll kind of dive into more preventative steps we can take, but be careful of those bogus websites. Travel scams. Overall, holiday travel usually goes up. We'll see what happens now with COVID-19. Fingers crossed, we are slowly getting back into normal, but we will probably always see travel go up during the holidays. We love our families and friends, and we like to see them during the holiday season and take a quick holiday ourselves on and book a vacation. So be careful of those too good to be true travel offers that come our way, and especially if they're being advertised. Look at those price differences and see if maybe it just is too good to be true. Fake charities. Over 40% of all charitable giving is right at the end of the year. As again, we open up our hearts during the holiday and really embrace the giving spirit, we also open up our pockets. And we have to be careful. These one-off charities that are just looking for to scam people, scammers are behind by misspelling or one-off of what their actual name is, are looking for people to fall for these type of scams. It's really sad. Of course, there's a lot of good out there. We have a great resource here called give.org. It's a BBB site that evaluates charities, not only to where their money goes, but also if they're legitimate, do they advertise honestly, and how much of the administrative costs and your dollars given go there and actually to the cause. So it's a really great resource, and we'll get into that also a little bit later. Compromised accounts. Again, a fear tactic that I'm always nervous about, especially unexpected login on an account like Netflix, PayPal, possibly. Usually your Amazon account, to please update your information and to re-enter your old passwords and set new ones. Again, using those fear tactics to get more information so that they actually can use that account attached. Pet scams. Pet scams are really big. I know during COVID-19, I wanted to talk to anybody who wanted to talk to me. I was going a little bit bonkers. And so a lot of people brought in a four-legged furry friend, and hopefully they kept those furry friends throughout the holidays and all the way to now. But we see them every year as we kind of add. I know I'm looking for a dog myself. So we need to be aware of pet scams overall in our area increase during the holiday season. And we'll kind of go over some of the tips a little bit later. So let's dive into online purchase scams. You know, again, we're going online majority of the time nowadays. And again, some of the reasons why we're purchasing is those too good to be true pricing, that just steal of a deal we want to get on those big size TVs or maybe PlayStation 5s or desirable toys and gizmos that during the holiday season. Maybe they might have professional looking website images. We want to be really careful with that because you can buy those images online and stock them. So we need to make sure that we're looking through and past the professional looking sites, because they are getting better and better. One of those great tools to use, just a quick tip, is to do a Google reverse image search. Actually go to Google, drop in that image file, and you'll be able to see if there's similar images online that use that. This is great for dog breeders. You might see the same dog out there being mimicked, or maybe a hot toy item that has been flagged as a scam on a previous report. Availability, you know, sometimes just how rare it is to find some of these hot ticket items. It might be a red flag. And so we need to make sure that when we're purchasing very popular items, are we just lucky and we found it online, or is it one of those things that it could be a potential scam? Advertisements are becoming more and more common, again, through social media and through even Google search. Be careful of those right side ads that are coming out. Google tries to prevent as much as possible, but can't promise every click to be legitimate going over. So be careful where you are clicking. We always say to go directly to the source, and you'll be able to know that you're not getting a workaround way to go to a scam site. And of course, positive customer reviews. Again, we'll go into a deeper dive, but everyone seems to want positive customer reviews. I suggest always look at the negative ones and look at the positive ones and see if we can take each with a grain of salt and really dive into why people are experiencing or have that experience with that company or product. Factors to consider before purchasing. Of course, we want to look for that listed contact information. Again, usually at the bottom or a contact us page online. You know, we want to know a simple way and make it very user-friendly to return items. If they bury this information or make it hard to find, that lowers the legitimacy, in my eyes, that company doing a good job in honoring their promise and helping their customers who might want to return a product. Of course, look for the BBB accreditation seal. Again, they're aligned and vetted and trusted company here, licensed, approved, to have a physical address that matches correctly and has a true point of contact for those businesses. And it's also a really great way to support local small businesses here in our area. Spelling and grammar, you know, again, we don't want to see any mistakes. This has been a little bit harder as a red flag. It's not as easy as the Nigerian prints with broken English emails that we see, or online websites, but it still is a red flag. And to look at those as definitely as a way to stay away from those type of companies. And overall, positive customer reviews. I love to read them. I know that, again, with a grain of salt, and make sure that they are beneficial and actually share an experience that isn't too floral, but actually shows legitimate review on that product. So let's go into puppy scams. 70% of people who fall for a puppy scam lose money. That's such a big stat. And these are very desirable breeds, normally pure breeds like French bulldogs, corgis. That's the cute one on the screen there. Golden doodles and doodle mixes, York Terriers. These are just some of the examples that are very desirable puppy breeds that we seem to find online. And unfortunately, over 30% of online purchase scams were pet related. So again, that is elevated during the holiday season as people want to grow their family with a furry friend. And so please be careful when, I don't know if anyone's run into some puppy scams. If you have, let us know in the chat. And of course, we always want you to report those as well, because our investigator works heavily with Whois, which is a great investigative source to shut down sites and domains as much as we can here in our area, or even serving our area. Here are just a list of some common counterfeit products. Again, very desirable items when shopping during the holidays. Those really hard to find, maybe apparel like shoes or clothing. These are very, very common. North Face, Hugo Boss. Of course, our electronics are always a big one. Those MacBooks that are just very cheap. We need to be careful why Apple does not give out discounts. It's very rare. We need to make sure we understand that go directly to the source, not through those ads. Absolutely. Cosmetics have been growing, and even those dietary supplements too, right? We see those quick fixes to holiday weight gain. And we usually see those in the beginning of the new year with our New Year's resolutions. But medical and nutrition, these diet pills, slim, miracle concoctions are very common now. And so we have to look out for those, especially if they're being endorsed by celebrities. It seems like that's actually been faked as well. And sometimes those celebrities are fighting back as well with the Better Business Bureau and making sure that they understand that they did not endorse this as well. It's a great example. So those high ticket items, let's ask another question and see why, why we were buying this, or why did we find this? Could we find it again if we wanted to directly from their site? Again, we go back to those nutrition and pills. These come with a free trial, but the fine print actually signs you up for repeating services. And this is how they get you, because it's a legitimate contract between you and the consumer. But what you didn't know is that it's going to be repeating after the 7-day free trial or 14-day free trial. And that's where they get you. So beware of that as we kind of overindulge during the turkey season here and roast beast, as the Grinch would say. So just be careful. There's a lot of hidden information, and to read that contract if you are going to make a health nutrition purchase online. And those auto renewals will really get you. So how do we stay safe online? We don't want to only base our decision to purchase based on customer reviews. Word of mouth is always best. The only movies I usually watch are the ones my friends suggest. Same with products and services that I'm looking online. I like to maybe ask a friend or family member, and I think that's a great way to start, and really look between the lines of customer reviews and see why are some people raving about a product, yet some said they never delivered. Do more research on products found online. Absolutely. See if you can find that product again, if that product looks different, if it has the same supplier, or if it's being through a third party. These are things that we would always suggest people doing. Do your due diligence and doing your homework. Research source is important. So we want to make sure the information where it's coming from is legitimate. Thankfully, we have a team here of people putting out trustworthy information. So always give us a call. We're happy to check that for you at all times. And that's through our live chat on bbb.org. It's a great online tool. Just click away and talk to someone online right here in Roanoke, Virginia, and that serves our 32 county area, or just give us a call. And this is a great reminder to look for the safe browsing icon. Now, this can be actually faked now, so we have to even be aware. I'll probably take this off because anyone can put a image online these days, but this does give you a little bit of more security, hopefully not a false sense of security, but that is something you want to be looking for. And if the deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. You know, over 30%, you should be questioning if this deal is legitimate always. You shouldn't be finding half off puppies. You shouldn't be finding just these steals that everyone else seems to not be able to find. That is a really big red flag. So make sure you go direct is a great way, or ask questions and see photos and images. And if you're going to make a purchase, to see if maybe you even can meet in person or do that with a local business here. Be careful of sought after products. Again, they're so popular. Again, why were you able to find that? Moms and dads and parents in general just go crazy in trying to get those hot toy items, and we have to be really careful when we stumble upon one on Craigslist. So again, double check and make sure where you're finding your information, and why is it so easily accessed and being able to purchase online. Avoid making quick purchases while browsing social media. I've unfortunately fallen victim for this. Just pay for shipping is usually a quick gimmick. I'm not sure if anyone else has seen these. Mine was for a cheap watch. It was I think $5, but just had to pay for shipping. And to me, oh well, $5. If it worst case scenario, if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. Well, the shipping was $15, and now I'm out $20, and I could have avoided this all together by just not clicking on that advertisement. Maybe rethinking that this is just not a fit, and a great way to make purchases online. Just a little irrational and quick. Yes, yeah, I think we all are. I think it's becoming more and more, unfortunately. Whether it's again, beauty products or outdoor equipment. I've even looked for camping gear. Unfortunately, it's popped up in my Instagram feed. So anyway, we want to always use a secure and traceable transaction. Again, credit cards, we love to see people use them. Not only does it great for building your credit, but it gives you that additional line of fraudulent protection that a bank account or savings account and your standard banking institutions provide. So it's a great way to keep protected while shopping online. And we encourage credit cards, absolutely. Choose an online payment system carefully. Again, this is your PayPal, Venmo. Zeal is one that is not protected, and this is important to kind of highlight. Wells Fargo has a great product for peer-to-peer transactions and maybe even small businesses to pay through Zeal. And it's important to know, one, where that money is going to, who that money is going to, and because once you send it, it is out of Wells Fargo's purview. And so we need to make sure that once we push send, that we know exactly that person, we trust that person. That goes for Venmo, but they are adding additional layers of protection as it becomes more and more popular online for businesses to also use. So Cash Up is another easy way for scammers to get money. I personally don't know the ins and outs of fraudulent protection that they are setting in place, but I believe it's very similar to Zeal, where there isn't one. There are no checks and balances, if you will, and that you need to know that person personally before hitting send. I'll do a little more research to see if I can give you some additional details, because that is a great one. It's affecting the youth in in the US heavily. We see this with TikTok saying, buy through Cash App or get rich. Just have to do this, this, and this. The money comes directly into your Cash App. And so it's becoming an untraceable way of transactions. Don't believe everything you see. And that's sad. I just hate to read that one out loud, but it's true. We really do need to be careful about what we are seeing. Look through the glamour of some of these images. See if they really are based in the location that they said they are online. Maybe do a Google map search of their physical address. Why is it a residence? Are they from this area, but the area code from their phone number doesn't match up? We need to make sure we're asking these types of questions when shopping online, especially when we're not directly shopping from the main department stores and businesses that are very popular online. So how do we do that? How do we avoid some of these scams? Again, we don't believe everything we see. We want to check that URL, and that URL will have HTTP, and hopefully it'll have an S right at the end. And the S is for secure. HTTPS is where we want to be going to make that checkout. So when we're adding things to cart, when we purchase and actually enter that credit card information, finally, that site is secure. So HTTPS is a huge way we can keep secure. And of course, using that credit card as an additional means of fraudulent protection. Watch out for bad grammar. Again, spelling is a red flag, and that should always be one as well. Legitimate companies are proofing their copy on their websites, so we want to make sure that we avoid the ones that aren't. Research the age of the domain. Again, who is WHOIS.com is a great way to figure out if a domain, a URL, a website is new. Maybe it just popped up during the holiday season and they're based in South Africa. That's a bit of a red flag, but it says it's supposed to be here in California. It'll tell you where it's registered and where the owner is located. And that's a really great resource as well. Search again for that contact information. We want to see name, address, phone number, email, maybe even a contact us form online, and double checking that information if we are thinking that it might not be legitimate. Again, checking that address to make sure that this is a distributing plant of eyeglasses or whatever the product or service is online. We're just going to go over briefly some of the ways that we can avoid some phishing scams. Again, websites, social media, and email are some of the top ways we get introduced to scams. So it's important that we avoid some of these by not following any links from an email that was unsolicited. If you've gone out of your way to contact them, that's one thing. But if you're receiving unsolicited emails, that's a bit of a red flag. So we want to hover over those images and make sure that we understand the destination of where we're going with that link. And so if you hover over that link, it'll pop up where it's actually taking you. Is it very long? Is it still match up to what the company says it is? These are some of the things we want to be doing during these phishing. Of course, we want to check with the URL to make sure that it's HTTPS when you're hovering over. And if it has a lock icon, it's a great visual tool that says it's secure. Even with that, we do need to be careful. Be cautious when opening attachments. Again, I wouldn't open any attachments, and I would be hovering over links before clicking on them or downloading any files. Probably would be marking as spam. That's a great way for, unfortunately, malware to get into our computer and maybe get more personal information from us. We never want to reply. They realize that now this is a good email. Same with text messages. We want to avoid writing stop sometimes, especially if it looks spam-like, because now you've given them, I guess, confirmation that this is a good number, this is a good email, and we want to avoid any type of contact because they might target you for a different type of scam later on. Be wary of anyone asking for any person or company asking for a username or password verification of any account, especially Amazon, as we're going online shopping. That's a very common one. So be careful. Maybe do your own investigative work and say, well, wait a minute, let's see, if I sign out on all of my accounts, I'll just sign back in the one and I don't need to reset this. This is bogus. So please ask questions. Here's an example of a phishing email. It says it's from Apple.Inc., which is interesting. Okay. iTunes. Okay, let's look through this. Some of these things that kind of stick out to me is Apple will not have Apple.Inc. in the from. That would not be it. If we look over and we actually hover over where that's coming from, we realize altavista.org as actually the sender of that with a different username attached. iTunes, again, we're looking for those misspellings. The T should be capitalized and consistent throughout all their branding. I tell you, their market or even customer service would never do that. So that's a great flag and to look for. Again, spacing, these issues with spelling and grammar all throughout. So again, hovering over, it's not secure. We don't see HTTPS. It's a short link from Google, which really doesn't tell me where it's going from. That's a huge red flag. I would want to see apple.com, HTTPS, of course, in the front, with maybe anything else following these types of kind of instructions. They're using fear tactic here in this situation. So how do we protect against scams? We want to ask our friends and family. I'm going to wrap it up here. I know we only have about 8 more minutes. But again, don't make these decisions on yourself. Talk to your neighbors, see what's kind of going on in your area. They want to use isolation as a way to get you influenced by their evil spell, if you will. They know if you don't ask questions or ask others or tell others about it to help you avoid these type of scams, that's perfect for them. That's exactly what they want. Those who engage and lost money to scammers express significant higher feelings of loneliness, and that's just true. So they really prey on those who are by themselves, whether they're older or just living alone. They aren't able to make those kind of decisions and need to be asking their friends and family maybe if this is legitimate first. So quickly, again, let's never send money to someone that you've never met face to face or don't know or haven't solicited first, and making that reaching out to them first. Don't click on links. Again, hover over those. Don't ever download attachments and could be dangerous to your computer. Never believe everything you see. And buying online, don't buy online unless the transaction is secure. Again, that HTTPS, it's a great way. I know I'm repeating here, but it's really, really great. These are great tips here to making sure that we're always cautious when buying online. especially if you've never met them in person, we want to make sure that we're very cautious. Never share personal identification information. This is your, of course, social security number, could be your Medicaid or Medicare number, your login information, your date of birth. All this can be used later on for different types of scams moving forward. And don't feel pressured to act immediately, whether that's through a phone call saying, hey, this is only a deal that's going to happen right now. Then you know what, they're going to lose the sale. Make sure you take your time in making a rational decision when you're buying online. Use secure and traceable transactions. Again, those credit cards are fantastic, or Venmo. They are setting up new protection, but PayPal is a great way that is protected for consumers. So credit cards and PayPal, and I'll get some more information about Cash App and a couple others. And when possible, this is where Better Business Bureau, of course, lends its huge database here, is making sure that they have proper identification for working with a business. They are licensed and they are insured, whether there are contractors or even a nail salon or hair salon, that they have those type of licenses that are needed for a business owner. And of course, be careful what you share online. That goes for myself. I love to share when I'm on a trip, but only after, so I don't lend myself to maybe a robbery while I'm at a holiday vacation, or full name, date of birth, maybe my significant others. They can all use this type of information to see how and a later or different scam. Of course, if you have fallen victim, it's important that you file a police report. Now, sometimes they're not able to help you as much, but it is important. And if they are, of course, they're going to be in your corner, and we love those people in blue. Contact your major credit cards information and banking institutions. Make sure that you've freezed all of your credit accounts as well, so they don't destroy any credit, along with any cancellation of cards and fraudulent actions. Of course, check with your post office to make sure there's no change of address, and ask for copies of your credit report. It is free, and so it's important to always check your credit at least twice a year. Here's a couple other resources that we have listed here. Of course, the Federal Trade Commission works with the Better Business Bureau when we're kind of getting in our riskiest scams, but they have a great resources there for if your identity has been stolen. And consumer.gov/ID theft is a great resource. And again, you can check it 3 times a year for annualcreditreport.com. And those are the 3 major credit reporters there on the, and that's a great free tool. And if you're not applying for credit, just depending on where you are in your life, if you're already have the house, the car, you can freeze your credit, and you can also temporarily release a freeze in your credit. And that's a great way to always be protected online when you're racking up credit card debt information, so you don't get destroyed when going forward. I know I'm not there yet in my life, but eventually I will be freezing my credit once I hit kind of that zenith and peak that everyone's looking for. So I just want to say thank you so much for having me. If you have any questions, I'm here. I know we have a couple more minutes, so feel free to chat me or yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was there. Thank you so much, Chris. This was really informative. I learned a lot. I've got lots of notes for this. So I've used the Cash App a few times and the Zelle app, but have run into issues with both of those apps at different times. So we have had a lot of issues. I'm just doing it with my mother and another family member, and sometimes it'll work perfect, and other times it's like 2 weeks and money is still kind of floating around, and it's just kind of nerve-wracking.
It is, absolutely. You know, new territory, new ways and transactions. It's intimidating to me, and I think it should be for everybody to just take a step back and maybe do some research. I keep saying that over and over again, but it's on us to be our biggest advocate. So, but we totally understand, and we're heartbroken when someone does fall for a scam. Please give us a call, the Better Business Bureau. We're happy to help and maybe help you figure out if this is a scam or not.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I know we'll be seeing you again Tuesday, December 7th at 11 for the Give Wisely session, so we can tackle those charities. I'm very, very interested in that. So
yeah, we hope everyone can join as well. So look forward to seeing you guys then.
Well, happy holidays, and thank you again so much.
Happy holidays.